Good morning, students. Today we are going to learn the third lesson of general science. The name of the lesson is force and pressure. Now here the question arises. What do you mean by force? Now force is a physical quantity that changes the state of rest or of uniform motion of a body in a straight line. Force can also change the shape of a body. When you apply a force on a rubber band, spring, sponge or mud, the change in shape can be observed. Force is interaction between two objects. Force is a vector quantity. Now students, here we have to study Newton's first law of motion, which is related to force. The law states that every object will remain at rest or in uniform motion in a straight line unless compelled to change its states by the action of an external force. Force is interaction between two objects. Now we will study here types of forces. First type of force is contact and non-contact forces. Second type of force is balanced and unbalanced force. Now first we will study about the contact force. A force, definition of contact force, a force that acts through a direct contact of two objects is called a contact force. For example, if you are seeing the figure here, you can see in the first figure man is pushing the car. In the second figure you can observe a dog is pulled by a boy. The third figure you can observe that boy kicking the ball away. All these are examples of the contact forces. Now, non-contact force. Definition of non-contact force. A force that acts between two objects even if the two objects are not in contact is called as a non-contact force. For example, if you see the figures here, iron nails get attracted to the pole of magnet due to the magnetic force. Second example, if you observe here, when a comb gets rubbed against here, small pieces of paper kept on a table get attracted to the comb due to electrostatic force. Third example, if you see here, a coconut is falling from the coconut tree due to the gravitational force. One more example is there, while walking we push the ground behind with our feet due to the frictional force. Without friction we will slip and will not able to walk. So all these are the examples of non-contact force. Now second type of forces is balanced and unbalanced force. Now balanced force means what? Consider a rigid body acted upon by two forces equal in magnitude and opposite in direction. These forces are called as balanced forces as their net effect on the body is 0. Now if you see this figure here 3.4, now this is an example for both balanced and unbalanced force. Now in this example, what you observe student, a table is kept here. On that table a wooden block is kept. To that wooden block, on the two sides, two thick strings are connected over there, and to that strings the pans are connected in which mass is kept here. If equal masses are kept on that two pans, you can observe that the box will not change its state, it remains in the middle position only. So here you can say that the force is balanced force. In the second case, if the mass of one pan it is more than the other pan, then what you observe? You will observe that the wooden block or that wooden box, it will shift to that side where the mass is more. So this is an example of unbalanced force. Now unbalanced force means what? A single force acting on a body is an unbalanced force. If two or more forces act on a body such that the resultant is not zero, it is an unbalanced force responsible for accelerating the body. For example, children playing tug of war, it is also one of the example of balanced and unbalanced force both. If from both sides peoples they are playing the tug of war are same number of peoples are there, then we can say that is a balance force. If one side more people is there and other side less number of people is there, then we can say this is an example of unbalanced force. Now here we have to study the new topic that is called as inertia. Now inertia means what? The tendency of an object to remain in its existing state is called its inertia. That is why when no external force is acting on an object at rest, it will continue to remain at rest, while a moving object continues to be in motion with the same velocity. This is called as a inertia. Now here students, we have to study about the types of inertia. Three types of inertia it is there. First one is inertia at rest, second one inertia of motion, third one is directional inertia. Now we will see each type one by one. First, inertia at rest. Now inertia at rest means an object in the state of rest cannot change its state of rest due to its inherent property. This property is called the inertia of the state of rest. For example, when a bus starts suddenly, the passenger receives a backward jerk. Second example, a fruit falls from a tree when the branch is shaken. This is an example of inertia at rest. Second one, inertia of motion. The inherent property of an object due to which its states of motion cannot change is called its inertia of motion. Here also example of inertia of motion. First one, a revolving electric fan continues to revolve even after it is switched off. This is an example of inertia of motion. Second example, passenger in a bus get a jerk in the forward direction when the bus stops suddenly. Third example of inertia of motion, a person falls when he jumps from a moving bus. So here we have seen two types of inertia. Now third type of inertia is the directional inertia. Definition for directional inertia: the inherent property of an object due to which the object cannot change the direction of its motion is called directional inertia. For example, while sharpening a knife, sparks fly off tangentially from the grinding stone. Second example of directional inertia, if a vehicle in motion is along a straight line suddenly turns, the passengers sitting in it are thrown opposite to the direction of the turning. So these are the examples of directional inertia. Now students, we are going to learn the topic that is called as a pressure. Now pressure means, what definition of pressure is given here: the force exerted perpendicularly on a unit area is called as pressure. Pressure is a scalar quantity. Now the formula for pressure is given here. Pressure, it is equal to force divided by area on which the force is applied. SI unit of pressure is given as a Newton per meter square. Now Newton per meter square means for the force the SI unit is Newton, and for area it is meter square. That's why SI unit of pressure is given as Newton per meter square, and it is also known as Pascal. Symbol for Pascal is given as PA. Now example of pressure: take some sharp pointed nail and try to push them into wooden plank by hammering on their heads. They get easily into the plank. On the contrary, if you try to hammer on the pointed ends, holding its head on the wooden plank, it is a difficult task. From this example, we learn that large pressure is exerted on smaller area, while less pressure is exerted on larger area by the same object. This is all about pressure. Now we will see pressure on solids. Air pressure is exerted on all the objects kept in the air. When weight is kept on a solid, pressure is exerted on it. This pressure depends on the value of the weight and the contact area between the two. Now if you see the figure 3.5 for force and pressure. Now here in this figure you can observe that 3.5 figure is there, ABC it is given there. Now in the first figure 3.5a, you observe that the plank is, wooden plank is horizontal, in horizontal position. In second figure 3.5b, you observe that 4 books are placed side by side on the plank. The plank bends slightly due to the pressure produced by the weight of the books. In third figure 3.5c, you observe that the 4 books are placed one above the other in the middle of the plank. Here the area of the surface of the plank on which the force act is reduced by a factor of 4 relative to the earlier case, hence the plank bends considerably. This shows that for a given force, pressure varies inversely as the area of the surface on which the force acts. Now we will see pressure of liquid. You must have observed swimmers. While swimming, weight of the body is supported by water, that is liquid pressure. The pressure at any point under the liquid is due to the weight of the liquid column above that point. Now for this also, if you observe the figure 3.7. Now in this figure you observe that a plastic bottle is there. So we have to take a plastic bottle, make a hole with a thick needle at the 3 points given as 1, 2 and 3 as shown in the figure. Fill water into the bottle up to the full height. As shown in the figure, you can observe that water starts flowing and projecting out. The water flowing from the hole at the top will fall closest to the bottle, while the water flowing from the lowest hole will fall farthest from the bottle. The jet from the lowest hole falls farthest from the bottle. Also the jet flowing out from the 2 holes at the same level falls at the same distance from the bottle. What is understood from this? At any level the liquid pressure is the same. Also the pressure increases as the depth of the liquid increases. This is nothing but the liquid pressure. Now the gas pressure. If a balloon is, now example for gas pressure given here, if a balloon is inflated by filling air by mouth, it inflates on all sides. It is realized that like a liquid, gas also exerts pressure on the wall of the container in which it is enclosed. A fluid enclosed in a container exerts its pressure equally in all directions at a point within the fluid. Now if a pinhole is created in the balloon, air leaks out and the balloon does not inflate fully. All gases and liquid have a common name that is called as a fluid. Fluids in a container exerts pressure from within on the walls and bottom of the container. Now students, here we will see about the atmospheric pressure. The force exerted on unit surface area by the weight of the air above it is called as the atmospheric pressure. Now if you observe that figure 3.8, here what it is given here, imagine that very long hollow cylinder of unit cross sectional area is standing on the surface of the earth and it contains air. Weight of this air is the force applied in the direction of the center of the earth. This means that atmospheric pressure is the ratio of this weight divided by the area of the surface. The air pressure at the sea level is called 1 atmospheric pressure. Air pressure decreases as one goes up in height from the sea level. 1 atmosphere, it is equal to 101 into 10 raised to 3 Pascal, which is equal to 1 bar, or which is equal to 10 raised to 3 m bar. So 1 m bar, the value of 1 m bar is given as 10 raised to 2 Pascal, or it is also called as a hectopascal. We constantly bear the atmospheric pressure on our heads. However, the cavities in our body are also filled with air and arteries and veins are filled with the blood. Therefore, we do not get crushed under water and due to the atmospheric pressure as the pressure is balanced. the earth atmospheric pressure decreases with height from the sea level. किती मिनिटात झालं?